Hello and welcome to my video, where I'm going to show you how to make some sparkly Christmas decorations. Obviously Christmas is the perfect time for a bit of sparkle, and I'll be showing you how I covered a foam wreath with sequins and a paper mache star with sequins and shiny paper. For the first project, the main things you're going to need are a styrofoam wreath, some sequin or Lil's pins, and some iridescent sequins. I personally use some flat 8mm iridescent white sequins. And whatever sequins you choose, make sure that they're opaque, they have a centre hole, and they're no bigger than 10mm. The number of sequins you need depends on the size of wreath you're using, and I personally used over 1,000 sequins. So you do require some patience, but I found it a very calming craft to do. Okay, so basically all you need to do is take one of the sequin pins, put it through a sequin, and push the pin into the wreath. It's very simple and you just need to repeat it many times. There are a few different ways of arranging the sequins, but I would recommend that you put them onto the wreath in overlapping lines. Here you can see the effect if you arrange the sequins in lines that go from the inside to the outside and back again. And here you can see the effect if you arrange the sequins in horizontal lines instead. This does take some time, but as I said, it's quite relaxing. And here is the wreath completely covered in sequins. You can see it catches the light and creates a really pretty effect. As a side note, you can always do this with other foam shapes as well, such as foam baubles. And here you can see an example. You could even add ribbon around the centre or as a loop, or even though I'm not showing it here, you can add even more colour and sparkle by adding tiny beads onto the pins before you add the sequins. And going back to the wreath, you can always leave it like this, but I'm going to add some extra embellishments. Firstly, I cut out a strip of cardboard, brushed on some PVA glue, and then sprinkled on some fake snow. I then glued on some miniature trees. I then glued on the cardboard platform. I measured how far from the top of the wreath these trees were going to be, because I then wanted to add some strings of either sequins or pom-poms. All I did was thread the pom-poms onto some invisible thread and make a loop at one end. To attach it, I took a pin, put a sequin on it, then the loop of invisible thread, and then I pushed it into the wreath. And lastly, I glued a piece of yarn to the back of the wreath. The glue that I used kind of melted the wreath a little bit, but it still worked. And that's it, the wreath is now complete. And here you can see the finished result. And for the next decoration, I started with a paper mache star, and then I added shiny paper to one side and sequins to the other. The shiny paper I'm going to use is a wallpaper swatch, and it's a really nice thickness for this project. I'm going to cover this side by cutting out one piece of paper per point of the star. So I put a piece of paper over the point and I just fold it where I want to cut. And I just keep doing this, cutting off a little bit more each time until I get the shape that I want. Once I have the right paper shape, I brush on some PVA glue, position the paper, and press it down all over. And then I repeat the same for the rest of the points. So just fold the paper where you think you need to cut, and then cut along those lines. Check the fit, and if it's not right, fold again and cut again. Then leave the glue to dry. Once the glue is dry, use some small scissors to cut off the excess paper. On the other side, I wanted to cover it in sequin fabric. And for this, obviously I couldn't fold the fabric, so instead I made a template. So just take a regular piece of paper and fold it and cut it as before until it's the same shape as one of the points. Then use this template alongside a fabric pen to cut out the fabric pieces. Just note that when you cut this fabric, the sequins will go everywhere. PVA glue is not strong enough to attach the fabric, so instead I use UHU all-purpose adhesive. So just cover the point with the glue and then attach the fabric. Repeat this for every point. And then the star should look something like this. On the paper side and on the sequin side. And that's it, that's 2 sparkly decorations completed. I really hope you enjoyed this video and thank you very much for watching.